Choice FM family, good afternoon to every single one of you beautiful people. It's the DOC on WRSV, about 34 minutes into your 2 o'clock hour. And ladies and gentlemen, I have a very special guest here with me via Zoom, joining us here on 92.1. Ladies and gentlemen, he has been running in Congress for the past several years, a couple of decades here in the great state of North Carolina, and we are pleased to have him with us now, ladies and gents. He goes by the name of G.K. Butterfield. Yes, indeed, former U S Representative and current Congressman. How we doing today?
Thank you, Doc. Good afternoon to you and to all of my friends in Wilson, Rocky Mount, and surrounding areas. It's good to be with you today.
Yes, absolutely. Glad to have you here with us. We've got a lot to talk about, but one pressing matter today. My goodness, of all days, could you imagine, GK? Of course you would join us here. It is April 15th, 2024, and it is tax day. Now, can you explain to the good folks, all of our listeners, first and foremost, the importance of that, and give us some updates as far as how taxes have been going thus far for us, please?
Well, first of all, let me thank you, Doc, for letting me come on and spend a few minutes with you this afternoon.
Absolutely.
I am now retired. Many of my friends know that in the Wilson Rocky Mountain area. Served 18 years in the U S House of Representatives, and before that, 15 years on the Superior Court bench there in Wilson, Edgecombe, and Nash counties. And so it's good to be able to connect with people who have helped me along the way with my career. I want to thank particularly Choice FM for the incredible work that you do in the community. I've been with WRSV since before you were born, young man. I started off with Charles O. Johnson years ago and his wife, Sarah Tucker Johnson, and now Chuck and his family. It's a long-standing relationship, and thank you very much.
Lovely.
You're absolutely right. April 15th is a big day. It is tax day. And if our listeners have not filed their income taxes, income tax returns, or if they have not gotten an extension, you have until 11:59 p.m. tonight to get it done. If you don't file your taxes, if you don't get an extension, then you could and you will be penalized. So make sure you do that. But, you know, when we talk about taxes, there are a whole lot of things that I could say about taxes. I served in Congress for 18 years, and I was very much involved with setting tax policy for this country. And from now until November, I'm going to be talking about a lot of different issues that affect our community. But right now, today, I want to just concentrate on the issue of taxes. Let me tell you that the November election is upon us. We've been talking about it for a long time, but it is finally on its way. Right. This is going to be a contest between President Joe Biden and former President Donald Trump.
Whew.
And I served during the Trump years. I know what Donald Trump was all about when he was president of the United States. He had an agenda. He had an agenda that targeted wealthy Americans, not low-income folk, not middle-income folk, but his agenda was about targeting wealthy Americans, and he rewarded wealth. He rewarded America's biggest corporations. And he had what is called trickle-down economics. We didn't like it as Democrats. We didn't like his agenda. We didn't like it then, and we don't like it now because his agenda rewarded wealth. It didn't reward work. Right. The signature economic policy of his presidency was a tax giveaway that overwhelmingly benefited the richest folks in America. And so I just want us to know what's at stake in this election and to let our friends know, those who are registered voters and those who will be registered voters by November. I need to let them know what is at stake in this election because there's no conversation that is more important than the subject of taxation.
Right.
And I know what Trump did when he was in office, and I'll be glad to talk with you about it, Doc, if time permits.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Please.
Well, let's start here. Trump lowered the tax bills of Americans by more than $4.5 million a year. That's $175,000 per year in less taxes that rich people had to pay.
Right.
The average income tax rate for billionaires today, during the Trump years at least, the tax rate was 8%. Can you imagine? You know, those who are teachers in Edgecombe and Nash and Wilson counties, that their tax rate is 22%, maybe 25%. But for billionaires in this country, Under the Trump administration, the average tax rate, I might say, was 8.2%. That's lower than a firefighter, it's lower than a teacher or a nurse. It is very, very low. And President Joe Biden wants to change that. He's talked about it in his debates. Whenever the conversation comes up, he's quick to tell us that he wants to change that. He wants to build this economy from the bottom up and from the center out. You know, after after Donald Trump passed his tax bill, the first thing that guy did was to get on his airplane and fly down to Florida to Mar-a-Lago, and he told the audience that was sitting there waiting for him at a fundraiser, "You all just got a lot richer." That was his quote when he landed. He slashed big corporations' tax rates in half during his last year in office, and 55, if I'm not mistaken, 55 of the biggest companies in America made $40 billion in profits. I want to start over to make
I
sure we
remember
hear
that.
this.
Oh yeah.
55 of the biggest companies in America made $40 billion in profits, and they paid no federal income tax. That's what this guy is all about. And so
Ooh.
President Biden believes that that Trump has it wrong. He's absolutely wrong. Multimillionaires and big companies shouldn't be paying lower tax rates than working families. And so, as President Biden has made it clear, these tax handouts aren't trickling down, and we need to do something about it. And we will do something about it in November when we have a large 100% turnout in Wilson, Natch, Edgecombe, Franklin, Wake counties, when we have a large turnout in our communities and make sure that Joe Biden and Kamala Harris are reelected as the leaders of our nation.
I love it. I love it. So informative, ladies and gents. On the line live with G.K. Butterfield, former representative here in the United States of America, North Carolina's very own. Now, G.K., I wanted to ask you, Mr. Butterfield, about if you have any idea of what Biden's plans would be to go ahead and level out the playing field for us.
Yes, President Biden has an agenda. He's already executing that agenda, and he wants to, first of all, to guarantee to every American who makes less than $400,000 per year, your taxes will not be increased. That's a promise that he made in the previous campaign. That's a promise that he's making today. If you make $400,000 or less, your taxes will not go up one penny. But Trump is just the opposite. He wants to he wants to lower taxes for our billionaires. He wants to make it easier for wealthy tax cheats to avoid paying taxes that they owe, and he wants to give corporations giveaways. And we all know what Republicans are all about, and that's just another example. But what Joe Biden wants to do is to make sure that our communities are strong, to make sure that our economy continues to grow, and it is growing, to make sure that our unemployment rate stays low. Right now, the unemployment rate is much less than 4%, which is remarkable. What we are struggling to do now is to get inflation under control, and we've done that with the bipartisan infrastructure bill and other legislation that we passed over the last 2 years. But President Joe Biden has a strong agenda that is going to create jobs. He's going to bring better paying jobs to North Carolina, and make sure that middle class families and low income families have the support that they need.
I love it, Mr. Butterfield. Thank you very much for sharing that with us. Now, for those who are listening right now to me, the DOC, and GK Butterfield, right here on the People Station, or tuning in via I Love Choice FM on our Facebook Live, what do you say to kind of sway? Because I heard you throw that when we have 100% turnout in Wilson and Nash and all that good stuff. But what do you say to the people who are still on the fence or don't believe in voting or don't understand the importance of it? What can you tell or share with those people that are listening?
Doc, the most important political decision that we make in this country is who will be president of the United States. We do that every 4 years. In the last election, we elected Joe Biden and Kamala Harris. Kamala, a dear friend of mine, is the first African American female vice president. Black women have worked hard to get a seat at the table, and it worked in the last election.
Right.
And President Biden selected Kamala, excuse me, Vice President Harris as his running mate. But that's an important decision that we're going to have to make. Well, the choice in the election is Joe Biden or it is Donald Trump. And so I don't want our voters just to vote against Donald Trump just because he's nasty and offensive and insults everyone that he doesn't like. But I want people to vote against Donald Trump and for Joe Biden because of democratic policies. Because Democrats understand the value of work. We understand the value of supporting low-income families who cannot help themselves, who need assistance. He understands the importance of helping middle class families to send their kids to college and to be able to have affordable rents and affordable mortgages. The Democratic Party, the Democratic agenda is about supporting the people in our community who make the community what it is, not the millionaires and the billionaires. And so we've got to get out and vote. We've got to have a 100% turnout. We've turned out before. We elected Barack Obama back in 2008. I was very much involved in that
Oh yeah.
campaign throughout the country, actually, and it made a difference. We helped elect Barack Obama. We came up a little short. 4 years later, we did not have the turnout that we wanted in North Carolina, but
Mhm.
we are destined in this election to keep Joe Biden and Kamala Harris in the White House. Now, this thing is all about turnout. If the polling
Right.
is any indicator, it's going to be a close election, a very close election. And you know what's going to make the difference? What's going to make the difference is will be voters of color, women voters, and young voters
Yes.
in
Yes.
Wilson, Rocky Mount, and Raleigh and surrounding areas. Those voters are going to make the difference because it is not about the popular vote. A lot of people don't realize this. You don't
Totally.
just add up all the votes across the country for the Democrat and add up all the votes for the Republican and compare those two numbers. That's called the popular vote. The way it's done is called the Electoral College. I want to take you back to high school. We
Please
talked about
do.
the Electoral College in high school.
Mhm.
Each state conducts an election, and whoever wins the state gets a certain amount of electoral votes
Mhm.
from the state. For
Right.
example,
Right.
North Carolina has 16 electoral votes. California, for example, has 55. It just depends
Wow.
on the size of your state.
Mhm.
You get one electoral vote for each representative that you have, and one vote for each senator that a state has. And so it's a game of checkers. You've got to make sure that you not only win the popular vote, you can actually lose the popular vote and win the presidency.
I've
And
seen it.
that's what we've got. It has happened before. We've got to make sure that we win the swing states. We know we're going to win California. We know we're going to win Illinois. Those are givens. We know we're going to lose Mississippi, probably. We're probably going to lose Alabama, probably. But there are other states that are called swing states.
Mhm.
These states are in play. North Carolina is a swing state,
Yes.
which means we can go either way. We can go either way. And the vote that's going to make the difference is our vote in the progressive community. And we've got to wake up and figure this thing out. And let's not waste our vote by staying home. Let's
Mhm.
not insult past generations who helped get us to this point by voting for a racist and misogynistic former president. Don't do that. Let's stand together. Let's vote together. Let's work together. Let's reelect Joe Biden and Kamala Harris to be the leaders of this nation.
I love it. I love it. Couldn't have said it better myself. Ladies and gents, if you're just tuning in via Facebook or 92.1, we're live on the line. It's me, the DOC, and GK Butterfield here. We're talking tax day. We're talking election, the importance of it. And I wanted to ask you, Mr. Butterfield, because I know you're a very busy man, but before you head out of here, we harped on the fact that we're a swing state here in the great state of North Carolina. Can you tell the people or stress about the importance of it? Because we've been seeing a lot of Kamala, we've been seeing a lot of Joe, we've been seeing a lot of Jill, as well as a lot of Trump. So can you just explain the importance of what we do here in North Carolina and how important our vote is one more time?
Absolutely. And I just want to continue to elaborate on the fact that we are a swing state. I don't want our listeners to miss that. Some states are not swing states. We know which way they're going to go. We know California is going to go Democratic.
Right.
We know Mississippi is going to go Republican. That is a given. But my friends, there are other states, Georgia and Pennsylvania and Michigan and Wisconsin, Nevada, Arizona.
Ohio.
These are what we call swing states. That means a handful of votes can make the difference. If you don't believe that, go back and look at the Sherry Beasley campaign for Chief Justice.
Right.
That's a sister. a sister who was the Chief Justice of the North Carolina Supreme Court. She lost her election, her re-election as Chief Justice by 401 votes statewide. That is less than a half a vote per precinct. So don't tell me that my vote or your vote does not matter, because it does matter. And if we turn out and vote in large numbers, it's going to tip the scales in North Carolina. Joe Biden and Kamala Harris and our candidates who are running for governor and lieutenant governor, they're going to win this election. They're going to win this election, and we're going to keep America moving in the right direction. By contrast, if Joe Biden loses this election and Donald Trump becomes president again, it's going to be an insult. It's going to be an assault on our democracy. It's going to dismantle programs that we have learned to depend on throughout the years: diversity programs, equity, inclusion programs, disadvantaged business enterprises, minority business development agencies. All of the programs that Democrats have brought in to empower African American businesses and African American families and Hispanic businesses and Hispanic families. Those programs are going to be dismantled.
Poof.
And I'm not just saying that just to blow a lot of smoke here this afternoon. I'm giving you that for real. This is a big deal. So, as we say in the church, please, ma'am, please, sir, please get out and vote in this election, because if we fail and Donald Trump becomes president again, it's going to set us back much further than I can even explain. So thank you for letting me come on your program. Thank you to 92.1 for what you have meant to our community for as long as most people can remember. You've been an institution. You've always given me a microphone. For whatever the occasion has been, you've given me a platform to talk about issues important to our community. And please continue to do what you've been doing. Thank you so much. Please give my regards to the Johnson family.
Will do. We
Yeah.
love it. We appreciate you so much,
Thank
Mr.
you.
Butterfield, for stopping by. You enjoy yourself. And before you head out, let the
Thank
people
you.
know how they can contact you, just in case they have any questions, sir.
All right. I've got my assistant on the line here, and I want him to give the call in or the website for the Biden Harris campaign. That will probably be our final statement. Michael, are you there?
Yes, you can go to joebiden.com for more information and to
All
contact us.
right.
Love it. We
Now
appreciate you.
everybody's got the internet. 10 years ago, that wouldn't have been true, but everybody's got the internet. joebiden.com. Let's do it.
You
Thank
heard it.
you.
Ladies and gentlemen, you all
Right.
keep it locked. G.K. Butterfield, we appreciate you. Best of everything to you, man. More success coming your way. We appreciate you stopping by. You have a great afternoon, sir.
Thank you.
Absolutely. We'll talk to you soon. Choice FM family, you guys keep it locked. I've got nothing but more news and music for your head.